Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art Sciences and Well-being. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are celebrating National Baking Week from October 14 to 20. In UK, Trex initially started this day back in 2007 with other banking companies to inspire people of all abilities to try their hand at baking at home. After all, is it baking just a piece of cake? No, National Baking Week has been chaired alongside with the popular TV show, The Great Britain Bake Off, giving everyone a week of tasty recipes and good television. People celebrate this day on Twitter using the hashtags National Baking Week or NBW and tagging the official National Banking Week page in posts. The first bread was presumably made in Neolithic times, nearly 15,000 years ago, when humans cooked plant broths on hot stones. Archaeologists discovered the world's oldest oven in Croatia in 2014 in the West. The stone oven dates back to 6,500 years ago. The Egyptians baked breast with yeast, but bread baking, as we know, it began as ancient Greece around 600 BC when enclosed ovens were invented. The Roman Empire were known as its love for baking pastries and treats around 300 BC, working as a pastry cook had become a formal occupation known as pastillarium. In the Roman Empire, pastries were served at large banquets and other celebrations. In 168 BC, in Rome, baker's guild was established. Eventually, Europe and Asia caught on baking. By 13th century, in London, baking was commercial trade. The preceding years had several bakers' guilds, flour mills, cakes for weddings and celebrations, and a controlled market system for baked goods. The 20th century boosted the baking game with new preservation methods such as refrigeration and increased availability of baking ingredients. The craft itself flourished greatly. In 2007, National Baking Week commenced. Trex, supported by other baking brands, founded the holiday to inspire people of all abilities to bake at home. The holiday was advertised nationally by the company, bloggers, recipe writers, the baking of enthusiasts alike. Today is also commemorated as Be Bald and Be Free Day in US. To show how to celebrate the day in style, there are millions of people who are affected by baldness, either due to natural causes or medical treatments, which is why this day is decided to be bald and the beautiful. Shaving heads and bards began a lot earlier than one might think. The early men from the Stone Age used sharpened clamshells and tweezers to shave or pluck out hair. In ancient Rome and Egypt, shaving heads was common amongst priests and also the common folk due to extreme hot climates. Egyptians are said to have developed shaving tools made of gold and copper. In the late 1950s, shaved heads started becoming a trend. Bald men were seen as more virile, confident, tough, and displayed. Many actors, politicians, musicians, and sports stars adopted the bald look. In the 1990s, the shaved head style was at its peak, with people like Michael Jordan, Evander Holyfield, and Bruce Williams further popularized the trend. Since some people battling cancer lose their hair due to radiation and chemotherapy, people began shaving their heads, either as a way to support for the people battling cancer or for fundraisers. Alopecia areata, simply known as male pattern baldness, causes a receding hairline in men and irreversible baldness, and it can cause body dysmorphia and poor self image among men. To encourage men and to boost their self esteem, many campaigns were organized with the primary motto being to show men that baldness was nothing and they should be ashamed of. And in fact, men with shaved heads look more attractive and confident. One of these campaigns was Be Bald and Be Free Day, which was started by founders of Wellcat Herbs, Thomas Roy and Ruth Roy. Though it is not known when the day was celebrated for the first time, Be Bald and Be Free Day has encouraged a lot of men and women to shave their heads and be proud of their looks. Day is also commemorated as Columbus Day in US, commemorating the landing of Christopher Columbus in the Americas in 1492. Over the last few decades, however, this celebration has faced serious controversy due to Christopher Columbus' various horrific acts against Native Americans throughout his life as an explorer. Because of this, many places in California, New York, Minnesota, Colorado, and more have transformed this day into Indigenous Peoples' Day. This day no longer has to be a painful reminder, but a positive symbol of how we progressed and evolved. So if you are one of the lucky people who don't have work today, now your chance to educate yourself on Native American culture and learn more about the origins of nation. Today is also commemorated as Chisinau City Day in Moldova. Chisinau City Day is observed on October 14th annually by the people of Moldova to mark the anniversary of the city. Also on this day falls the Hramul Chisinau Lily, which is Russian religious day to honor the Holy Virgin's intercession in the evening. There is an open air musical at the Great National Assembly Square, followed by a magnificent fireworks show. This day is a public holiday in Chisinau. The city is the key industrial and commercial center of the Republic of Moldova and is situated between Romania and Ukraine. Chisinau city is one of the most prosperous and populous cities in Moldova. Moldova is an Eastern European nation and shares its borders with Romania and Ukraine. The region was at the center of Susteni Tripila culture that existed between 5500 and 2750 BC. Chukuteni culture is also the oldest European civilization. The nation's region lies in a strategic position between Asia and Europe and hence became the target of countless invasions. These invasions made the nation a breeding ground for different cultures such as Goths, Avars, Huns, Bulgars, Magyars, Mongols, and the Tatars. In the Middle Ages, the region was part of the Soviet Republic. Moldova became a sovereign country in 1990 after a parliament declaration. After a failed Soviet coup d'etat attempt in 1991, the nation declared itself independent from the Soviet Union on December 25th. In 1992, Moldova became an officially recognized independent country after it was granted membership in the UN. There is also commemorated as Day of Svetitskov in Georgia, which is annually celebrated on October 14, dedicated to celebrating the construction of Svetitskov Cathedral, the first Christian church in Georgia. It appreciates the significance of cathedral to the people of Georgia and recognizes its impact on Georgian culture and tradition. Today is also commemorated as Defender of Ukraine Day in Ukraine, which is an annual celebration held on October 14th in Ukraine. This day replaced the Defender of the Fatherland Day on February 23, which organized in the Soviet Union. This national holiday honors the rich traditions of Ukrainian people. It honors the bravery and heroism of those who defended Ukrainian independence, territorial integrity, military traditions, and victories of the Ukrainian people. October 14 is also the anniversary of the formation of the Ukrainian insurgent army and the day of Ukrainian Cossacks. Today is also commemorated as Health and Sports Day in Japan. Sports Day, formerly known as Health Sports Day, is celebrated in Japan on the second Monday of October every year, and this year the day falls on October 14th. The aim is to promote sports and an active lifestyle to ensure a healthy mind and body, and it commemorates the opening of the 1964 Summer Olympics held in Tokyo. This day is used by many schools and business to hold their annual field day. It typically consists of a range of physical events ranging from more traditional track and field events such as relay races to more uncommon events such as tug of war and the cavalry battle. The very first Health and Sports Day was held on October 10, 1966, 2 years later of the 1964 Summer Olympics, to avoid the Japanese rainy season. October was chosen for the unusually late Summer Olympics in the year 2000. Health and Sports Day was moved to the second Monday in October. As a result of the Happy Monday system is a set of modifications to Japanese law, creating 3-day weekends. Starting in 2020, Health and Sports Day was permanently renamed Sports Day, known as the Supotsu no Hi in Japanese. The reason for this is that world sports is broader than physical education, and it also implies voluntary enjoyment. It follows suit and other organizations that have made or plan to make similar changes to their name in Japanese, such as the Japan Sports Association and the National Sports Festival of Japan. Today is also commemorated as Indigenous Peoples Day in US. Indigenous Peoples Day is celebrated on the second Monday of October to honor cultures and histories of Native American people. This day is centered around reflecting on their tribal roots and tragic stories that hurt but strengthen their communities. The first seed of Indigenous Peoples Day was planted at a UN International Conference on Discrimination in 1977. The first state to recognize the day was South Dakota in 1989. Berkeley, California, and Santa Cruz followed the suit. Although that day was still considered Columbus Day up to 1937, many people began calling it Indigenous Peoples Day to celebrate the rich culture and the lives of Native American people. For the Native Americans, Columbus Day was always hurtful as it glorified the violent past constituting 500 years of colonial torture and oppression by European explorers like Columbus and those who settled in America. Indigenous Peoples Day draws attention to the pain, trauma, and broken promises that were erased by the celebration of Columbus Day. Before his arrival, the indigenous folk were successful, self sufficient communities that sustained life for thousands of years. Year by year, the movement to change Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day spread to more and more states, towns, cities across the USA. Indigenous People Day celebrates, recognizes, and honors the beautiful traditions and cultures of indigenous people, not just in America, but around the world. Their way of life and culture carries wisdom and valuable insights into how we can live life more sustainably. Today is also commemorated as International Day of Respect for Cultural Diversity. In Argentina, celebrated on October 14th, commemorates the diversity of Native Americans and Europeans. In the other areas of the world, it is commemorated on the same day as Columbus Day. In Argentina, the festival is currently called the Day of Cultural Diversity Respect. It is commonly observed on the second Monday of October. However, some nations such as Venezuela and Chile observed it on October 12th, while Colombia observed it on October 17th, even though it is the same festival. The name change and the departure from the original date may reflect the fact that certain indigenous people may regard Columbus and Europeans as a bad occurrence. Today is also commemorated as Lotu e Tamaiti holiday in Samoa, which is a national holiday celebrated on Monday after the second Sunday of October, and this year it falls on October 14, honors children and has been observed by the Samoan Islanders since 19th century. This public holiday is usually marked by Christian church services centered on children. Children wear white and sing previously prepared hymns and play on this day. Today is also commemorated as National Heritage Day in Turks and Caicos in UK, which is celebrated every second Monday of October, and this year it falls on October 14th, honors the history and culture of the islands. The day is also part of National Heritage Month, usually celebrated with festivities across the islands. It replaced and now absolute Columbus Day in 2014. Today is also commemorated as National Heroes Day of Bahamas in Bahamas on every second Monday in October to honor individuals who, through personal achievements and initiatives, have contributed to the growth and development of the Bahamas. This year, it will be observed on October 14th. This was also called as Discovery Day and Columbus Day until 2013. National Heroes Day of Bahamas usually kicks off awarding individuals that distinguish themselves in the civil service. Then the Prime Minister delivers a keynote speech at Georgia Street in Nassau. While the honors and speeches end on the day, the festivities and celebrations may extend to an entire week. Today is commemorated as National I Love You Day in US. In the US, unlike Valentine's Day, it extends beyond just couples. It's a day to appreciate our families and friends, as well as anyone you hold dear. Ironically, the non-romantic occasion started by promoting a romantic film on October 14th, 2015. The director of a Filipino romantic drama film posed the hashtag Everyday I Love You, causing local thrill. Those in charge of marketing campaign rode the wave, launching the hashtag on the Twitter and appealing for widespread support, which eventually inspired another hashtag, hash national I love you day. The new hashtag quickly became a top trend in the Philippines Twitter. The film did not achieve stardom in the US, but the hashtag skyrocketed in popularity due to the name alone. Tweets spread through 62 nations and reached a total of 3 million people, demonstrating the power of three simple words, I love you. Today is also commemorated as National Kick Butt Day. On October 14th is a day to take action. Is there a bad habit you wanted to kick in the butt, or a resolution you made but the trouble following through? Well, on National Kick Butt Day, you can change it. All that saves the day and take a little step towards fulfilling your goals. National Kick Butt Day is celebrated all across the nation on second Monday of October. And it is because of all of us having something that we have been putting off. So let's get it done. Telichai Igarshi became the first centenarian to climb Japan's tallest mountain, Mount Fuji. He had been driving since he was 89 years old. It is also commemorated as National Native American Day in US, which is celebrated on second Monday of October each year, honors the traditions and accomplishments of various Native American tribes. While it is not observed in all 50 states, it is observed in the South Dakota, celebrated on different dates in California, Nevada, Tennessee, and Washington, and is gaining popularity in the rest of the country. Traditional dances, art exhibits, and ceremonies are part of the celebration. The celebration focuses on culture, traditions, and history of tribes across the country. Each district nation has its own set of customs, rituals, and beliefs. Today is also commemorated as National Online Bank Day in US, which is observed annually on second Monday in October, falling on October 14th this year. As business increasingly go online, it's no surprise that banking too is following suit. Today, almost every business and every bank has online presence. We owe much to the online banking and technology for the ease we now enjoy in banking services. No more enduring long queues or waiting for days to receive and or send money. From paying and receiving bill payments to insurance and investments, virtually everything can now be done online and at the comfort of one's bedroom. Life without online banking seems unimaginable now, and National Online Bank Day is celebration of these benefits with both banks and customers enjoy. Today is also commemorated as Yemen Liberation Day, which is celebrated annually on October 14th, as is counted as an important public holiday in the Republic of Yemen. This day commemorates the start of uprising against British rule On this day in the year 1963, which was particularly remarked on and revered by the southern part of Yemen, as they were ones who remained under British control. Unlike North Yemen, this was only beginning as it took around 4 years to end agonizing fight. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. So we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form. And those who have attended or attending the programs, we request everyone to quickly go back and find the registration forms on the website and complete the registration. We have observed that those who have attended did not fill the registration form, Google registration form. Kindly follow the instructions, formalities. In general, you have to fill the Google registration form before attending any event. Then to mark your attendance, you have to register yourself in the Zoom and attend, and also fill the feedback form in the Zoom platform. We are observing that participants are leaving and joining and they are not staying till the end. So in that cases, based on the request and the requirement, we are also circulating an additional Google feedback form for the participants, but we request all the participants to stay back and fill the feedback form. This will unnecessarily delay the certificates, and also you will not be able to get your certificates. So we request everyone to follow the instructions carefully. Those who are attending on YouTube and also in Zoom, to kindly follow the instructions on the website and complete the formalities. The recent events like Teachers' Day and Indian Social Work Day and Mental Health Day, we have observed that many people are directly joining without registering. So we have found that very little participants have become eligible, though many participants have attended. So we are extending some more time. That's why we could not issue certificates. So we request everyone, those who have not filled the registration form, to immediately submit your registration forms by today or tomorrow, so that we can issue your certificates. So those who couldn't find your certificates are requested to go back and complete their formalities they have not completed, and certificates will be issued later on whenever there is a review of pending certificates, those who have completed formalities later. But we cannot assure you when they will be issued, but it will be issued at the end of the series whenever it concludes, as we have limitations of time and other resources. So we request everyone to quickly fill the feedback form now in the every day in Zoom platform. Don't forget to register and provide feedback that marks your attendance. And then for the webinar series, you need not register every day through Google form, but all other events, we request you to register yourself through Google registration form, as the registration forms in Zoom are not accessible outside. So both registration feedback form, we request you to stay back in Zoom session and submit your forms. And we are also observing the email address. You're not filling it up, or if there is no email address anywhere mentioned, kindly ensure that your email address is very important, along with your name, designation, organization, and place. All the details are mandatory. Kindly fill all the details. Do not leave anything, as the system will not accept it and your certificate may not be generated. So this will again involve a lot of follow-ups and it will unnecessarily delay the process. The simple procedure is whenever you are attending, you register through the Google form. Immediately when the registration form is available, and when you are attending on that day, you ensure that you are filling up the registration form in Zoom platform and also the feedback form. If there is any feedback form in the Google form format, request everyone, as we are giving enough time, to fill that form as well. So see you all tomorrow with the same at the same time with the same joining link. Take care. Good night.